Welcome back to a special edition of the Daily Basketball Recap. I am here once more with Jason. We spent one of our days over the summer discussing the Lakers, their offseason acquisitions, how he thinks this can, improve the Lakers' odds moving forward. And we're going to do a what do you call it, a redux, an update, a lowdown of what we feel the outcome so far of those offseason acquisitions are, some of their moves, some of their coaching changes, things like that. So, without further ado, I want to make our first discussion point, which I think was the topic of discussion to start off with last time. Marcus Smart. How do you feel Marcus Smart is doing on the Lakers as of now?
You know, I I'm content. I really am. I think I think because of what's going on in the rest of the league, from the LeBrons to the Currys, we forget. You know, Smart's old. He's on the older end. He won Depoy 4 years ago. He's not getting his 2.1 steals a game, but what's he at, 1.4, 1.5, something like that. He is keeping it down off the bench. He's playing some fantastic defense. And from what the reports say, he's great in the locker room. So is he reaching the hype? I think so, at least from what expectations should have been.
Yeah, I'm actually thoroughly impressed from his point of attack defense when he is on the court. He's providing them a lot of. Is he as athletic as he once was to be able to defend shots and challenge them properly? No. Is he a Patrick Beverly style antagonizer right now on the court to be able to really piss off other players and get in their heads? Absolutely. And I love it. And I think that this is exactly what this Lakers team needs. If he had like a little bit more of a defensive structure around him, I would like to see that a little bit more. Like he could do a little more like Draymond Green role where he's like a defensive coordinator more out there on the court. But I just I'm very impressed with what he's brought to the court so far. I think he seems motivated. And he seems just happy to play next to these guys. Like he seems like he's just happy to be along for the ride, happy to be chosen. So I'm very happy seeing it. Like it's fun to watch, honestly. Um, it's always fun to watch guys who are good at defense who want to play defense. Who are motivated to play defense.
Also playing a lot. Like there are a bunch of we got a handful of great bench players off the bench to play, and he's playing the sixth most minutes. Like he's the most minutes off the bench, and wouldn't give it to anyone else.
And I'd always rather see him out there with Luca and Reeves and have Gabe Vincent very heavily shoved into the bench. Perfect. Um, all right. Next player, DeAndre Ayton. How do we feel he's impacted Lakers so far?
DeAndre Ayton. I I'm still of the opinion that maybe we should have been on the lookout for another big, but so far I'm happy. Really, like he's getting us what? He's getting us like 9 rebounds a game. He's getting us at least a block a game. Like he's holding down the fort. He looks fantastic from the lob threat. Now that we have Luca, but to be honest, I find the more entertaining lobs is when it's Luca and Jackson. It's just in terms of entertainment, just because Jackson gets so hype. Um, but Aiden's looking great. He's holding down. He's doing what I would say at the moment he's a little underrated because he's doing what he needs to do, and that's all you can ask from a guy.
Yeah, I think it's always difficult for me to have a player who's gone to the finals with like the Suns. Like obviously, it's not talking about the niche market of the players who've gone to the finals with the Suns. I'm saying more so from the standpoint of players who have achieved really good things before, being in less fortunate situations, and then kind of coming back, resurrecting their careers. To technically speaking, call them underrated. I just feel like he lacked motivations in certain situations. That's his job. He's being paid millions of dollars to do it. That's one part of it. But to be honest, it's very nice to see him again, smiling, happy out on the court. The Jackson Hayes part of all of this, with him also supposedly going to play in the Olympics with Luca at some point. I love it. I love the whole bit. I'm very in on it. But the minutes that Aiton's out there, especially also by the way with Reeves, he's he's still got it, and he's
Yeah.
27.
He's same draft class as Luca. They're young
He
guns.
shouldn't have lost it, but he still got it. You
Well,
know?
there are no icy roads in LA. That's why he's getting to practice on time.
Right, right.
Let's leave it. It's
But
on that point. It's just so it's as a Lakers fan, we haven't had a guard like Luka in the longest time, and it's insane that just to give Luka a little love in this Aiton conversation. Aiton's fantastic, but the fact that Aiton's only has second highest number of rebounds per game because we got this magical point guard is just a crazy piece.
it still blows my mind that that trade came to be. But I really do think that Aiton being in this position, like it literally is like the best opportunity that could have happened for him. Like it's, I mean, obviously, but you know, it's cool to see him follow through. Like it could have just been the same as the guy with motor issues. You know, like 10 times out of 10 that could have happened. But he stepped up to the plate so far, and I like it. I want to see a bit more on the defensive rotations. He's been pretty good on defense, but you know, a little bit more rim protecting. But I'm impressed so far by what he's brought to the table, and how
Yeah,
easily he's been able to mesh with the scheme. Also,
yeah, I want to see a little more, powerhouse from him. He is a big, strong guy, and I feel like a lot of what he's doing is a little away from the basket. He's very into those little floaters that are like 2 feet away from the basket. Like, "Hey, you're a big, strong, tall man. I want to see you go for some nice dunks, and it reflects on the defensive end as well. But if it works, it works. But I'd like to see some more power in that.
how do we feel about moving on to our next guy, Laravia?
Great. Like again, like I feel like it's all about perspective. Like, did anyone expect Laravia to come in and be like, you know, a 15-point scorer? Like, if you did, like, you shouldn't have. Laravia's holding down he's getting what, nine a game. He's has decent efficiency and he's 4 rebounds. Like, he's doing his role. I I like how he plays off of Luka. I like that Luka he gives similar vibes to like the wings that Luka's played by in the past. I think if Luka uses him like Luka used to use Tim Hardaway, when THJ would find his point around the arc, Luka would swing him the ball, take that shot. Like that's what Laravia should be doing. I think at the beginning of the season they were trying to use him for like a bit more than that. But if he's just that wing 3-and-D guy, I think Luka could find him in a spot and he'll get his 9-10 points a game.
Out of these three guys, for better or for worse, whose performance has surprised you the most between Reeves, LeBron, and Rui?
Oh, between the big three. Oh, right. I mean, I mean, Austin's all NBA third team. Like, what are we talking about here? This guy went from undrafted to that one buzzer beater. I think it was against the Mavericks. That one, like his first season, and like, oh, that really changes up the Luka lore. But and now here he is. Like, man, I love Austin. I love Austin.
I was, I
28
was
points per
talking
game.
I was talking yesterday about how Colin Gillespie's career strangely intersects with also the same way that Austin Reeves did, where also Colin Gillespie had like a buzzer beater last year, buzzer beater three, like the shots even look kind of similar. Um, White guy kind of point guard, kind of guard, um, but effective game. I feel like I'm equally surprised how many times people have to tell Rui to get to the right spot on the floor coincides with how many good, insane plays Austin Reeves has had. Like I just feel like they're kind of neck and neck for how many times those things have happened. Um, like there are times where I'm watching Austin Reeves and I'm like, what? Did you go and train with like the Globetrotters? Like I don't understand what happened over the course of this summer, but all of a sudden you just decided that you are doing your best. Like I don't even know who he's impersonating. Like it's just insane. He's really taking it. It's not even a level. It's like three levels.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Austin's just he's looking like a little Luka. Like if you look at the stat lines, you look at what he's trying to do with the fancy passes, getting himself in all this, like getting himself a bit in all the statistical categories. Like he's just putting himself out there, and it's so like as a Lakers fan, since 2020, it's kind of been this crazy roller coaster, with the Westbrook phase and the Luka phase and AD and all these different things that's happened. And sometimes we forget, like we've literally had Austin since since the championship. Like he's been here for 3 years already. And like, you forget that he was there with the Westbrook days and then all the different things. And you're like watching him now, like, you know, if this continues, obviously he should be candidate for most improved player. It should not, whatever. It's probably gonna go to someone like Cade if things continue as is. But like, give, I hate when you give a top 3 pick most improved player. The Jaw MIP is insane. Um, I'd love that to go to Austin, and I'm hoping for that. But you mentioned Rui. I think a lot of I'm in the Lakers fan group Facebook group with like all the hundreds of thousands of people who will like vent about their problems about the Lakers. I think a lot of the rhetoric with Rui is just everyone remembers him from the 2023 NBA playoffs, and they're kind of just like stuck on that. When Darvin Ham thought he was the Jokic stopper, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at him, he's shooting at like a 40% from three," and like, no, Rui still has some growth. He spent a lot of years in a very bad system. He's been here for 2. Like he's not an essential piece just yet.
Primary language also is Japanese, by the way.
What?
Primary language also is Japanese, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's why it's a good bit. Like, apparently, like Luca and Rui have become best friends, which is so funny because one's first language is Japanese and one's first language is Slovenian. Like, I don't even know when they hang out, when they go golfing together. Like, what language are they talking?
There is no way they go golfing together. They do, and maybe darts, but there's no way it's golf.
Well, they're teammates with the best golfer in the league.
Well, also supposedly the coach is pretty good at golf. I've heard.
Yeah, Jage is pretty. Well, I there was like a whole poll in the NBA, and it was Steph and Austin that were tied for the best golf player. But I have heard JJ's also got swing.
Last question that I have for you. Do you think that LeBron is happy that he's finally being carried? Or do you think it's a mental game of this is him detaching from this Lakers organization in some capacity and trying to show that he doesn't care. So if contract negotiations don't go the correct way, he's able to pretend like he has the upper hand.
No, I think he cares. I think he cares a lot, and from his rhetoric and the way you've listened to his post game conferences, he cares. I think he's just at a phase in his career where he is no longer interested in the awards. Like he's disqualified. He's not getting his All NBA. He's not getting his whatever, any other awards he was going to be striving for, his top 10 finish in MVP votes for the 22nd year. Like he's not there. This is not going to happen. He's missing too many games. But I think he's turned the Lakers into his franchise. He's been in LA longer than he was in Miami, longer than his second stint in Cleveland. He'll always be Cleveland first, but he's been in LA the second longest of all of his stops so far. He sees Luca as the next him, and rightfully so, the triple double guard who can do it all. The triple double point. And I think he's preparing to leave a legacy, and so I think he really does care a lot. And I would bet on him retiring a Laker. I would not bet him retiring as the best Laker or even the second best Laker. But if somehow, we can get lucky and the Thunder are knocked out on the different side of the playoff bracket and we beat anyone else along the way, I think LeBron would love to go out as the third best player on a championship team alongside Bronny.
Do you think that let's say they don't win the championship this year, but it's looking competitive next year. Do you think that I thought that he's such a competitor that he's all this talk about when he's retiring, all this stuff. I was like, okay, I feel like he has like a few more years. After seeing him now coming back after his sciatica, I feel like he's like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna enjoy my time while I'm like still here. Like, I feel like he's like much more graduation goggles. I know he's only been back for a few games, but I just feel like it's more like old guard, like fatherly, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what happened when he was out with that sciatica, but this was the first time LeBron ever missed any games for a non-serious injury. Like not belittling a sciatica, but you could play. And I think he's realizing, and I think going into this season with knowledge that his last friend, banana boat friend, was about to retire, going in knowing that Like there'd be a crazy gap now between him being drafted and the next drafted active player. Like I think something's been going on internally where he's recognizing like, oh, like I'm not trying to play with Zuri, so how much longer am I trying to push this? And I think he sees the Thunder, he sees Wemby on the way, he sees the Rockets, he sees the Pistons, and he's like, cool, like I started when it was Chauncey, Tim Duncan, and Russell Westbrook and KD. Like this is not my generation anymore.
So when is he throwing up the 6'7"? Do you think? I'm just kidding.
That'd be a great. It'd be a great bit if LeBron threw in some like Gen X bit, in his next game-winning shot.
He's like, what up?
Even earlier than that, I think that's some like quote your grandparents would throw out after they
Well, he's like talk about how when he was a nom, like
it's like when my grandfather makes in the wastebasket and he yells George Mike and something along those lines.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much, Jason, for all your insight, for all your Lakers expertise. We always love having you here, and I want to thank all of you for listening. Do you have any parting words to our fans or dear fans?
Lakers in 4.
Those are words. Those are definitely words. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.